You want to know how I became the Hand of Noxus? How a boy from the gutter ended up leading legions, breaking kings, and carving his name into the bones of the world? Sit down. Listen close. I was born in Basilich. Not the shining heart of Noxus you hear about in soldiers' songs. No, Basilich was mud and blood, where the Empire's wars never ended, and nobody remembered why they started. My parents were gone before I could even speak their names. The city raised me the only way it knew how, with hunger, with fists, and with the sound of boots marching to war. Draven was the only family I had left. He was all charm and chaos, that one. Always laughing, even when we had nothing. Me, I learned early that laughter doesn't fill your stomach. Strength does. I was 10 when I killed my first man, a deserter. He'd stolen rations from the quartermaster. I told him to stop. He called me a rat. So I picked up the axe he dropped and split his leg open. He screamed and begged. I didn't listen. I ended it. And when it was over, I remember thinking, no one's coming to punish me. No one cares. I was small, I was hungry, but I had power. For the first time, I felt alive. When we were old enough, Draven and I joined a war band, lied about our age. They didn't care. Noxus never does. It just asks one thing. Can you fight? The first time I went to battle, I saw men turn to ash under Damatian light. Heard bones crack like branches. The smell of iron and fear. That's something you never forget. But I didn't break. I learned. I swung until my arms went numb, until I could barely tell if the blood on me was theirs or mine. I survived. That's all Noxus asks of you at first. Survive. Years went by, different banners, different wars. I bled for generals who didn't even know my name. They called themselves noble, but I saw what they really were. Cowards hiding behind titles. One of them fled a battle in the mountains and left half his men to die. I found him after trying to sneak away in the dark. I dragged him out, tossed him in front of the soldiers, and told them what he was. Then I took his axe, led the next charge, and we won. That's when the men started following me. Not because I asked them to, but because I was the only one who would never run. Word spread. Some called me the Hand of Noxus, even before I had a title. Others called me a butcher. I didn't care what they called me, only that when I gave an order, it was obeyed. But the longer I fought, the more I saw the rot spreading through the Empire. Nobles, bleeding soldiers dry to win favor. Commanders sacrificing thousands for scraps of land. Noxus claimed to value strength, but it had forgotten what that meant. True strength isn't born from greed, it's born from purpose. Then I met Swain. The man saw the world like it was a chessboard, and we were all pieces. But for the first time, I wasn't a pawn. He told me the truth, that Noxus was sick, and the cure would be violent. When his coup came, I stood with him. I spilled the blood of the weak to make way for the strong. I remember the night after his victory, the fires still burning, the city quiet, except for the screams far below. He told me, Darius, the Empire is yours to shape. Just make sure you don't let it shape you. I swore then that I would. Not everything in my life was war. There was a woman once, Lyra, a war captain under my command. She was fierce, clever, fearless. She laughed at danger the way Draven did, but she had something else. She believed Noxus could be better. We fought side by side in a dozen battles. Never needed words. There was just understanding. Once she told me, when you fight, Darius, you look like you're trying to prove you exist. I didn't know what to say. Maybe she was right. We were sent to hold a line against Damacia, outnumbered, surrounded, doomed from the start. She led a small detachment to hold the flank. When the dust settled, the Damatians were dead, and so was she. I found her body the next morning, took her knife, her family's crest carved in the hilt, and swore I'd keep it sharp until the day I joined her. I still carry it. After that, I stopped waiting for peace. I want to tell you about Drenhall. Years ago, a fortress deep in the northern range of Dalmatia, stone walls high as towers, defended by their finest. Our orders were simple. Take Drenhall, break Dalmatia's supply line, and open the road to the capital. Simple, they said. We marched through snow, armor freezing to our skin. Half the soldiers were green recruits from the lowlands, boys who thought wearing a red cloak made them immortal. By the time we reached Drenhall, the wind had stripped their pride clean off. I could see it in their eyes, that quiet doubt that grows before a slaughter. The Dalmatians had the high ground, the walls, and enough archers to blacken the sky. I told my captains, we'll take that gate before sunrise, or die trying. Some flinched. Lyra would have smirked and said something smart, but she was long gone by then. At dawn, I led the first wave. Arrows fell like rain. Men screamed, slipped in the blood-slick snow. We didn't stop. You don't stop when you fight for Noxus. You press forward until there's nothing left to give. By the third charge, I was at the front, my axe cutting through shield and bone. A Dalmatian champion came for me. Golden armor, a lion crest. He roared about justice. I split his shield, then his chest, and watched the light die in his eyes. I told him, justice doesn't bleed like that. Even then, the walls were too strong. I listened to a scout who said a cave system ran under the mountain. Everyone said suicide. I said perfect. I led a small strike through the tunnels. We emerged inside, right in the enemy's belly, took the gatehouse, opened the doors. By sunrise, Drenhall belonged to Noxus. Thousands dead, tens of thousands wounded. The young soldiers cheered. I didn't. I watched smoke rise and wondered how much of me had burned with it. Victory made me untouchable. Generals feared me. Soldiers obeyed without question. And in Noxus, fear is as dangerous as any sword. Then came the knives. The High Command called me to the capital. Commendation, they said. A trap. I knew it, but I went. You don't run from your empire. At the Citadel, a circle of generals, including Varkas, a man I had raised, taught, trusted. Swain was there too. Some in this room believe you've forgotten where your loyalty lies, Swain said. Varkas drew his blade. Darius of Basilich, by decree of the High Command, you are relieved of command for crimes against Noxus. I stared at him. This boy I raised. His hand shook, but he thought he was saving Noxus from me. He lunged. I sidestepped, caught his wrist, slammed him against the table. One swing ended it. The others reached for weapons. Swain raised a hand. Enough. Let him speak. I told them the truth. Noxus is strong because men like me bleed for it. Every inch of land they sit upon is bought with the lives of soldiers they'll never know. I told them if they feared me, it's because they'd forgotten what strength really looks like. Swain nodded. Then prove it. Lead again. But remember, strength without discipline is chaos. He spared me or used me. Doesn't matter. The message was clear. I walked the blade's edge. Draven found me that night. Told you, brother. Noxus loves you right up until it doesn't. Then he laughed. That laugh reminds me that not everything has to end in blood. Now, years later, I sit before the fire, watching recruits train. I see their arrogance, their hunger. I was like that once. I almost miss it. Sometimes I walk through the barracks and see faces I used to know. Lyra, Varkas, too many to count. Their ghosts don't haunt me. They walk beside me. I've been offered rest, seats in the High Command. They call it honor. I call it a cage. I wasn't made to sit behind a desk. My hands crave the axe. My blood hums at the horns. Still, I know my time is running thin. You feel it in your bones. Every swing of the axe takes longer. Every scar aches deeper. Sometimes I wonder what Noxus will remember of me. Hero, monster, tyrant, all of it. None of it. Doesn't matter. I don't need statues, songs. I wanted the Empire to stand long after I fall. Strength, that word's been my life. But strength isn't just how hard you strike or how long you endure. Strength is knowing when to stop fighting, when to hand the axe to someone younger. One day someone will come, stronger, faster, hungrier. Maybe they'll kill me. If they do, I'll die with a smile. It means Noxus still breeds warriors worth dying for. So if you ever find yourself under red banners, hearing your heartbeat echo like drums before battle, remember this. You don't fight for kings, or glory, or songs. You fight for the man beside you, for the dirt under your boots, for the chance to prove your life meant something. Because that's what Noxus is. Not an empire, not an army. A fire that never dies, passed from one fighter to the next. And when my fire finally burns out, when the axe grows too heavy and my heart too tired, I'll sit by the walls I helped build, watch the sun set on the empire I bled for, and know I did what I was born to do. Until that day comes, I'll keep sharpening my blade, not because I fear the next war, but because I know it's coming. It always does. Strength endures. That's the lesson. That's Noxus.